All right, I'm back. Let's see if we can make some significant progress here. So we've got an issue with our router here. I changed it to router.push. That didn't fix it. And I am using next navigation. Cannot access router before initialization. Initialization. How can I? All right. Some component constant router equals use router. So we are in a page component. Constant router equals use router. Oh, I have to initialize the router. Oh. You know, I took this out earlier because I wasn't using it. Now I'm using it. Yes, I think I am. Oh, it is here. Oh, I see what happens. Never mind, I do have it. I just took it out for some. I have it. I put it below, below here. What I should do, actually, I wanted to do before I get anywhere into this. So let's just put all this stuff up here. Assuming this process is in the order, I'll put it right there. There we go. Let's see here. It's reloading it. Hey, look, we've got a token. It says hello. We've got a working token. We've logged in. What does that mean now? Well, it means we have a token, but how do we... The question is now, we've now logged in, we've now got a token, but question is, how do we validate the token? Okay, so if I set something to local storage, is it possible for someone to get in there and go, hey, we're going to wreck the token. And we're going to force ourselves to log in by simply setting some value to the token. And voila, we're on. Let's say someone knew the name of my local storage get item as access token, and they go in and say, okay, well, let's set local storage dot set item access token to something. I mean, it could be anything, right? Because I mean, I'm not actually validating this. So now I need to actually have my token and have some kind of a I gotta have the authorize habit. Food in front of me. I reach down and start eating it. Now I'm gonna start coughing. Alright, so next steps. We've got it. But now when we go to the account page, so this goes to account, which is right here, but it doesn't have anything. It's a nothing page. I don't even know if that's... I forgot what the hotkey was. I got to go look. There's a hotkey to do some kind of cool stuff here. Oh, RFC. There you go. So this will take me here. Now, how do I implement, or how do I apply, how to apply token verification to a Next.js page? Assuming the token is stored in a cookie, well, I can get it from wherever. Try. Verify the token. Constant decoded equals verify token process.am secret. If the token is valid, return the decoder. Let's try it this way. What if it is a bearer token? If you receive the bearer token in the headers or cookies or of the request, you can verify it on the server side using get server side props. If you receive the bearer token in the headers or cookies of the request. So, all right, let's go. Somebody's over there outside. I don't know who that is. Parked in front of our house. Let's see. We're getting close. I think I should have ate lunch. actually, I have my protein bar. You probably saw me eating yesterday. I only ate half of it yesterday. Friday Ghost. I've been having Ghosts and more potent energy drinks on Fridays because I stay up so late. I must be thirsty. All right, back to it. Import Druid from JSON Web Token. I like the, if you receive the bearer token in the headers or cookies of the request, how do I pass? Dang it, I gotta go to another thing here. How do I pass a bearer token in Next.js headers? Export function, use fetch with auth. Using the custom hook in a component. Alright, so that's my fetch with auth, whatever. That's the AMG, use AMG authorize. Handle fetch data. Try constant data equals await fetch with data. Replace with your API, yep, console. Log, data, return. Alternative, directly in a component. Okay, so we're going to do something of this nature where we're going to pass it just got to understand the flow. I think that's my problem. So all right. So I have the auth. And it adds the, where's the authorization header? Oh, option.headers. Response await, fetch URL, options, headers, authorization bearer token. Add the bearer token to the headers. I kind of like this. So use fetch with auth, and then we go. So I'm guessing replace with your API endpoint, custom hook. Why aren't we just doing that in here? Your bearer token here. So I've got it back. I've got the token. But I don't mind it being in the but why are we directly in a component? So we're in the home component. Handle fetch token, use bearer token, replace with your actual token. Try constant response equals await, and then we get our fetch API protected data method, get or post put, etc. Headers, authorization bearer, content type, application JSON, response network, console to log data. Okay, so I don't see any problem here. I'm already getting the token back. I just need to know how am I passing this token to a secured page. Because I really just want to refresh the token, right? Or validate that the token is good still. Plus, I want to send back more information, but that's probably an auth issue. Because I don't want to just say hello. I want to say hello to whoever it is. All right, so I've got this working for the most part. I mean, it's logging in. And I've got the token, and I just want to be able to apply it on other pages. Like, so when I go to the account page, I want the account page to go, hey, this person has a token. What? I've been using ChatGPT so much, I've hit the limit. Responses, we will use our basic model until your limit resets at 4:59 p.m., which isn't that late. I mean, that's like 2 hours from now. Maybe it's telling me that it's Friday and I need to quit. Is that what it's telling me? What do you think? No, I can keep working on this a bit. I don't need ChatGPT. If you don't want to help me. It's not saying it won't help. It just says it's going to be dumber now. It says, I'll help, but I'm not going to use my entire brain. I'm just going to use a little bit of my brain. Not my big brain. I'm gonna use my little brain. I amuse me. I know. It's just the way it is. Sorry. I'm not always fully on top of it, I guess. But let's see here. Where do I go from here? I need to. Let's try this. Wait, did he mean Khalif get beat? I know, I'm distracted. I'm distracted. Sorry. Alright. Where was I? Okay, so let's see if I can get. Let's go looking at the old ChatGPT, also known as Google. I just want a simple little how to apply auth. I feel like I did this before. In fact, you know what? I did. I'm gonna go see where I did it here. Of course, this is a different form of authentication. I was using Superbase authentication. Well, and which is, I guess, OAuth. It is. Where's my example code? I'm gonna go to this Dojo help desk. Okay, so I opened it. I created this Dojo help desk, which was NetNinja's training class. NetNinja kind of went through a lot of this stuff, showed me how to do auth. I'm just gonna see where or how it's applying authentication, and I got to kind of see how it's doing it. So like tickets, force dynamic. Does this one do authentication? Nav bar, dash layout. Let's go to the page.jsx. Next link, home, dashboard. I don't remember if it checks here, company. Nope. But then we go to the ticket page.jsx. Ticket link, load. React ticket list. Currently open tickets. And then we got currently open tickets. Load ticket list. Let's go to ticket list. Alright, create client. Oh, so this is my create client. So this is actually doing this the authentication. All right, let's see. How to apply bearer token authentication to next.js secured page. go see this guy. I don't really want anything big. I just want the. I just want the code. That's loud. Oops. But it's a big face.
Let's talk about authentication in Next.js. So this is a broad topic, and there's a lot. And then we have two different forms here. We have one form that allows the user to log in, and it calls a server action, calls this login function, and then redirects back. And then we also have the same thing basically to log out. So this is just the basic scaffolding of login, log out. There's of course a lot more that we can do here, but the real meat of understanding the basics of authentication is going to be in the login and log out functions. So we've moved all of this library, everything related to authentication, into this one lib.ts file. Let's start with login. So the login function that gets called, over here I'll just type in lee@vercel.com and enter to submit our form, and we see this information that is logged out in the right. So this login function is called, it takes in the form data. It can read information from the form, like the email. I can put some other additional information here on the user object. In your application, this is where you would probably talk to a database and look information about the user. And once we get that information back, then we get to create our session. So we're going to define when we want it to expire through a new date. We're going to make this session option or session object, which is going to be encrypted, and it takes the user and the time that it expires. And then we set this as a cookie. So Next.js has this cookies function that allows you to set and delete cookies. So we set this with the name of session, we pass along the session, we say when it expires, and critically we say this is an HTTP only cookie. So you can only read this on the server. Now
Okay, there is one more question I have. I want to know, I'm storing it in local storage, okay? Storing a token in local storage versus cookies. There we go. Do I have to store tokens in cookies or local storage? Local storage or cookies? Securely store session tokens. Okay, let's see what they say. Oh, well, whatever, accept. Alright, web application tokens, 2 token types you need to store. Web applications most commonly need to utilize, store 2 token types. Access tokens, which are short-lived. Refresh tokens, which are lasting. Opaque strings stored in the application database. Either of these tokens can potentially be stored as a cookie. Local storage pros and cons. Local storage is super convenient to use because it always uses JavaScript to access a token. If you're relying primarily on an API, you can't always depend on the service to set a specific cookie for your site. Local storage also works efficiently with APIs that require an access token in the header. See, I kind of like, I'm thinking about doing this in the header. Another advantage of local storage is its contents cannot be automatically sent anywhere. Therefore, local storage is immune to cross-site request forgery attacks. On the downside, local storage is potentially vulnerable to cross-site scripting attacks. Great. If attacker can inject malicious JavaScript into a web page, they can steal an access token in local storage. Oh, great. Also, unlike cookies, local storage doesn't provide secure attributes that can set to block attacks. Another potential disadvantage of local storage is that as persistent storage scoped to an original origin rather than a domain, it cannot be accessed from different domains or even subdomains. Okay, well, maybe I'm using cookies then. Cookies are not accessible via JavaScript provided the proper secure attributes for the cookies are set. This makes cookies data less vulnerable than local storage data to JavaScript-based attacks. Also, there are a variety of approaches to secure cookies, so you might have more security options than with local storage. But because cookies have a limited storage capacity of 4 kilobytes, you might not be able to store some tokens that way. You may also need to put an access token in the HTTP authorization request header with some APIs, which means cookies won't work to store the tokens in all cases. Really? But because tokens have a limited storage capacity, both cookies and local storage are vulnerable to access. However, cookie-based token storage is more likely to mitigate these types of attacks if implemented securely. Community recommends the WASP community recommends storing tokens using cookies because of its many secure configuration options. Wow, darn it. So, okay, how do I know if it requires access headers? That's the next question. I mean, I was able to get the token back. So I have a token. It's a bearer token. Let's just say using bearer token stored in cookie. Because I can change where I'm storing it. I just have it stored in local storage, but I can change it to storing in cookie. Use bearer token stored in cookie to access secured next JS page. How to manage backend authentication routes. Best way to store tokens in Next.js for authentication. I'm not sure. Maybe I already, once I'm already logged in, I don't need to do anything. Maybe I don't. No, you have to do something. You have to at least check. I mean, I can check to see if a token exists, but that's not the same, right? I mean, couldn't you fake a token? And it just goes, yeah, there's a token. Okay. How do I know it's a valid token? How do I check that my token is good? Let's do another page. I want to see what it says. How to verify, let's see, bearer token is valid in Next.js. How to validate a token in Next.js. I host backend via Next.js for cell, separate hosted frontend, which is not in the same Next.js repo. The user. How to check the authentication token and its validity. Two answers. Source use the file middleware TS in the root of your project middleware, for example, at the same level as pages or app or inside source if applicable. Since you are using NextAuth, you can use getToken function. Takes a nextauth.js request and returns either the Next.js issued payload or the raw string. We look for the in either the cookies or in the authorization header. So I believe in my login here, I actually do set token, which means I should be able to use get token, right? So it's right. See, set token. Set token, which means I should be able to use get token, right? Import get token from next auth Druid. Maybe not. I'd have to look, but takes a next auth JS request and returns either the next auth JS issued payload or the raw string. We look for the JWT in the, I know it's JSON web token, I know, in either the cookies or the authorization header. Import get token from next async function middleware request constant is auth equals await get token, and then you add your logic. Specify for which routes you want to run the above middleware. See, middleware I think is the trick. I think I need to use middleware. So this way my routes or whatever my code is using is going to call it, because that's what I'm doing here. I have a middleware on my ticket list. This guy. So this guy's got middleware. See, middleware. And it's doing the validation, and then whenever I call this, or I don't even have to call this. I think you just tell it which routes you're setting, and then it just runs, because middleware kind of like fires or something. I forgot. Maybe I have to put it in the call, because I got update auth session. It's all about just learning the flow, you know, seeing this all the time. And I know I use this middleware to do all of my session handling, but since I'm using the API, I'm almost wondering, well, no, I did the login. The login page does that, but I think some of that stuff that I'm using the middleware for, I should be putting in here. Like I should have the token or update session, whatever I'm doing, I'm holding it in here so the middleware can go get, hey, we have a token, we're good. You know, kind of, you know, I don't know, updating the session, whatever it's going to affect. Yeah, so I'm thinking that's going to have to be the way we do it. But again, I don't know what I'm doing, so I'm learning slowly but surely. I'm getting more and more kind of an idea of what I need to do, but I don't know here. Let's see. What? Decisions. How do I get this to function? Huh. I don't know. I'm not sure of the way to approach this. Can't do it here. I don't know. All right, so I am. All right, I'm kind of stumped here, but yeah, I'm going to pick a direction here shortly. I promise. I promise. I'm gonna figure this out. I gotta do this. There is a solution, and I am going to solve. I want to use middleware, but I'm not exactly sure how I'm going to accomplish that. So, because I'm not using this logic. Okay, I'm not using the super base middleware. I'm using an API. And I have to. I don't want to wait till 4:59. Let's go see if my Copilot can do it. I mean, it's probably using 3.0 or whatever the old version of it is too. I mean, you probably have to pay for the advanced version of this too, but we'll see. How to use? How to use bearer token authentication. Bearer token. Alright, stored in session cookie to protect Next.js page component. Let's see if Copilot can do this. Copilot's not as Next.js cool. It doesn't give you like all the same stuff. It does show me, so verifying the token. Here we go. Protecting the page. Okay. He's giving me some stuff. Alright, maybe Copilot can do this for me. We'll see. Alright, so Copilot uses ChatGPT, but it formats it slightly different. It does it its own way. But on the upside, I'm not like, I don't have a limit to the number of times I can do it. So that's the thing. Okay, so all right, so I said, let's say I store it in the secure cookie. Create an API route to verify the token. Okay, set up an API route Next.js that will verify the token. The route will be called from the server-side code to check if the user is authenticated. All right, so I want this. All right. Oh, wait, is that? Wait, maybe it's actually doing it. Storing the token in a secure cookie, verifying the token. Okay, verify the token. Verifying the token, we're going to go import JSON web token, export default function handler request. Constant token equals request cookies. If bang token, not token, unauthorized. I don't know if I would do a 401 message unauthorized. I would just send them back to the login page, you know, a redirect. So if we don't have a token, send them back to the redirect. But no, protecting the page from nookies. Import parse cookies from nookies. Is that supposed to be nookies or is that supposed to be cookies? Is that a typo? Did Copilot typo, or is nookies really a thing? Give me a little nookie, man. All right, export async function get server side props context constant parse cookies context. If no token, redirect to login. How come this one redirects the login? Protected page. Get server-side props function. Constant is equals await fetch processing.m next public API URL verify token. Header. Cookies token equals token. If rest status not 200 return redirect. So this is verify. This is so I got my verify token thing here. Verify token.js. But how is it verifying my token? So, all right, let's try this. What if I am using a bearer token provided by an API? Let's see. Within the API, store the token in a secure cookie, create an API route, okay. Fetching and storing the token, okay. Verifying the token. It's the same thing. But where is the secret? See, it says process.m.which secret. Decoded token, and then catch error if it fails. So we get fetching and storing the token. So I got the token, I did my login. And so I got, fetch, I did that, got the method post, content type, application JSON, body, JSON.stringify, request body, constant data await response JSON, constant token dot data dot token. And I did that. That's actually in my code, the data, I've set it. Now we got to set, we got to do the set cookie thing though. I don't do that. And then HTTP only true secure process. All right, let's do this because we're going to store it in a cookie. I've decided to not store it the way I'm storing it, which is putting it in a local storage because it sounds like local storage is not the best way to go for a few reasons. And I'm going to try and not use local storage. I do think it's a thing, but it sounds like it's got more security potentially problems and less robust, or maybe local storage is more robust but less secure. I don't know. But either way, I'm gonna go with this. So we're gonna try and go. We're gonna go ahead and do this, which is let's say constant. Constant token equals data.token, and then we're going to go ahead and we're going to comment this guy out. What's the hotkey for commenting a block of code? Oh, Shift Alt A. So it says, let's see. Shift Alt A. I didn't do anything except give me a, whoa, what did that do? That did a lot of stuff. Alt Shift A. Okay. That didn't do what I thought. Shift Alt A, comment block. Shift Alt A. That's totally not doing what I expected it to do. Okay, so yeah, not gonna work. I can do this, which is I could have done without all the extra lines, I guess, but whatever. So we got our data. We've await response.json. We did that. And yeah, we got data.token. I still feel like I need to add more stuff to this, which I will, and then I'm gonna save it. Maybe I'll save the other information in local storage, but for now I'm gonna just say, like, you know, save if I pass the username and you know, their email, whatever. If I pass something back, I'll store it in local storage because I'm not too worried about that because we have the token being verified by other things. I don't want to put a bunch of stuff in cookies. I have a personal problem with cookies. But if it's the thing you got to do, you got to do it. Okay, so we are going to go ahead and take this bit. And we will just copy it. And we'll put it right down here. This didn't use a try-catch block, which means I don't know how important it is, but I'm getting something else here. So we're going to say set header, set cookie, serialize the token, which is going to be our token. HTTP equals HTTP only true, secure process dot env dot node env production. Production? Are we production? No, we're going to say, I mean, why do we even need this? It's like, if so, this should not be hard coded, right? I mean, I should be able to pass this in and it should determine, like, I don't know, if my domain is localhost 7195, or if in the domain is localhost, then it's dev. If it's you know, activemindsgames.com or ultimatecommunityladder.com, we would type production because that's where it would be sitting. True? True? True. Okay. But see, I don't like hard-coded crap. Hard-coded crap is crappy. I don't like this either. Again, I should use, right now it's using AMD authorized localhost, but ultimately what that should be is a variable as well, defined by where I'm at. You know, it's like, if my current server is localhost, then I'm going to call localhost. If it's something else, anything else, if my current server is blah, then we're going to go to whatever, or wherever. If we determine that we're in production, so if I go to process.env.node.env, now this env should be, right, do I have an env file? I don't think I even have an env file. What the heck? 'Cause I'm pretty sure env is a file. Process.env.node.env. Node env from process env. See, like if I go here and oops, oh here. Where is it? Oh, it's Dojo. Okay, so see, we have an env file here. I know we have an env file. Public details. Oh, there it is, env local. So we got this URL, anon key. So all this stuff should be stored in like a variable, local variable that determines where we're at. So We've got public superbase URL, next public superbase anon key. This is junk. This doesn't even work anymore. But I'm just trying to determine, these are how the variables are set. And then, so this is env local. So there's, you can do a .env production, .env. I like .env local. I should actually pull everything from, how do we determine? All right, I'm getting so many tabs here. So he beat up on a woman, and he's happy. Aha! I am great. Okay, I know. I know. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to. I'm not going to. I'm going to get out of that. It's controversial. I'm getting controversial. Ignore me. Ignore my controversialness. Yeah. Nope. We're going to say how to use .env local and production. What is it between .env.local and .env.production? Well, configuring environment variables. All right. Next.js comes with built-in support for environment variables, which allows you to do the following: use env to load environment variables, bundle environment variables to browse. Because see, I would rather store things like my local host's path in an environment variable. So Next.js has built-in support for loading variables, environment variables from .env files into process.env. This loads process.env db host, process.env db host user, and local into the Node.js environment, automatically allowing you to use them. For example, using get static props. If you need to load environment variables outside of the Next.js runtime, such as in root config files or ORM, you can Next.js package. This package is used internally by Next.js to load environment variables from env files. To use it, install. Then you can import the configuration where needed. For example, referencing other variables, bundling environment variables. How do you do? Runtime environment variables. Next.js can support both build time and runtime environment variables, but by default, environment variables are only available to the server. To expose an environment variable to the browser, it must be prefixed with next public. However, these public environment variables will be inlined into the JavaScript bundle during next build. To read runtime environment variables, by recommending using get server-side props. For incremental adopting of the app router. With the app router, we can safely read environment variables on the server during dynamic rendering. This allows you to use singular Docker images that can be promoted through multiple environments. Good to know. You can run code on server startup using register functions. We do not recommend using runtime config options. Typically, .env file is needed. However, sometimes you might want to add defaults for the development, next dev, or production, next start environment. Next.js allows you to set defaults in .env all environments, .env.development environment, and .env.production. Good to know. .env development and .env production files should be included in a repository as they define defaults. All .env files are excluded and .get ignore by default, allowing you to opt into committing these values to your repository. When deploying your Next.js application to Vercel, environment variables can be configured in the project settings. All types of environment variables should be configured there, even environment variables used in development which can be downloaded onto your local device. What is Vercel? When deploying your Next.js application to Vercel, what is Vercel? I don't even know what Vercel is, but I'm not going to worry about it. When deploying your Next.js application, is that like a host of some kind? All right, so yeah, I'm going to go with what is .env local then? If we got .env development and .env production, what is .env local? .env .local. Oh, right, env .local versus env. What's the difference between m.local? Let's just see what they're saying. It's got development.local and local.local. And m.development local seems to be a priority over .m development. Okay, so files of the development build and the production build, higher priority on the left. npm start, m development local, m local, .m development, .env. So .env is the last one. Production, npm run build, .m.production.local, .env local. So it depends on the command you use, I guess, huh? If you do a build, you're getting production. If you're doing development, you're doing start. What is npm run dev? Is that, because that's a different thing. Is that local? Because this is development, this is production. And what about just .env dev? Let's go see what package.json says. So we got build run. So we got dev is next dev, build is next build. So these are the scripts. So npm run dev, npm run build, npm run start. So, or I guess you could just say start, but what is env local is just whatever. So if you're just doing, what does npm run dev run then? If .env local, you can set up variables that are used specific for local machine, and it doesn't have to be on development mode to work. So variables there will work for both development and production. .env local, you can set up environment variables that are specific to your local machine. Okay, well, so that's what I want to use then. So I just wanted to set up for my local machine. And I would need to actually set up some other thing, but for now, let's go .env local. I apparently don't have a .env file here, so we're going to go create one. Okay. This will allow me to do stuff like passing in my local parameters. We're going to say something like, we'll say AMG authorize and URL. And we're going to call it whatever this is, which is gonna be 71.95. Let's say AMG authorize domain. Oops. Domain URL. I think that's the format. I think it's just simple name and name value pairs, right? Yep. No, but it's equals. And they have it all caps. Should I do it all caps? If I'm gonna do it all caps, I have to do underscores, and I hate underscores. I guess I don't have to do underscores. All right, so I think it's just comma, or do I even need that? I may not even need that. I think it's, yeah, it's just whatever. Okay, so, and then I don't need to say, because if it's localhost, it just knows it's localhost. But I'm gonna go. How do I pull it? Okay, so let's see. Where is this? Let's see how it's calling this here. And local, here we go. Constant. Wait, that's not what I typed in there. I want, no. I want to go. No, that totally did not work. Go back to here. I'm going to go to M. Don't know what I did. Oh, I see what I did. I totally picked the wrong thing here. Copy. Now we're going to go back over here. Put this in here. Nope. Not what I was trying to do. Stop it! Control C. Okay, here we go. Process.env. This is where we got it. And we're using it in a few places. So we're going to go process.env dot, and then I can get it from wherever. So we're going to go here to my auth page. And I believe I have a fetch going on here. Oh, no, must be the login page. This guy. All right, so we're going to go constant. Oops. Constant. Nope. Constant. And we're going to say let's see. AMG authorize domain equals process dot n dot AMG authorized domain. And we're going to take this guy and we're going to go something like this, and this. I'm probably doing it wrong. All right, I don't remember, but I know there's examples of it in here. Oh, that's only doing it if I'm doing it in a link. Oh, here we go. Redirect. Blah, blah, blah. Oh, I guess the whole thing goes in there. That's only if you're doing. Is it in the code? It's in the code. So it just means you're going to include another parameter. So it's kind of like I'm doing this instead of quotes. And then here would be $, squiggly, and then that goes away, and then that is I think that's what I want. ng authorized domain / login. I think that's what I want. Okay, so because that's basically what this guy is. So we got redirect. We got my quote. Error equals, why am I doing that? $, squiggly, and a squiggly. And then the accent again. So if that's valid, how come my $sign didn't change colors though? That's not necessarily correct. But let's see what happens. I guess we'll know. If something breaks, we'll know that didn't work. But that puts this out, and I don't have my local domain name in here anymore, which I like. I like not having my code hard-coded paths and stuff like that. Now, this one's process.m.node production. I guess in theory they're just going to set the cookie. I guess it doesn't matter because it's just storing it in a cookie that's being used. It's going to call it production, but ultimately it doesn't matter, right? Secure. It's just going to be, it's just a consistent token that's going to be used. Whatever. Production. I don't know. I'm guessing that's going to work secure. So I'm going to leave it. I don't like having it hard-coded, but process.m.node equals production. I don't think that's actually going to be right either. I don't think it's going to be equals production. Is that going to be true or false? Because it's like secure, true or false? Because it's saying we're not setting it equal to production. We're reading it. We're saying is node m equal to production, and we're going to say secure. And we're actually going to expire our token one day. One day is probably fine for my purposes, I guess. Some might do an hour. I hate it when they do like 15 minutes. Like if you blink for long enough, they disconnect you. But I know like banks and stuff like that will do like 20 minutes or 30 minutes or whatever. They just do it short and it expires. I don't like that, but I get that they're trying to be secure. I understand it, but I don't like it personally. You know, I know that there is security problems out there, people getting hacked and blah, blah, blah. I just don't have a fear of it like that. I don't understand. I mean, yeah, you got to protect, because what's going to happen is, I guess, yeah, the odds of any one person getting hit are pretty small, especially if you're fairly secure with your own passwords and you're not like handing them out or being dumb on the email and whatever, or on email. You're probably not going to get individually hit, but the bank has thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands of customers, and only one of them needs to be hit for there to be a meltdown. So they're trying to protect all of their customers, and if you are that one that gets hit, you're going to be glad that they did that production or protected. I don't feel individually all that in danger, but because I'm fairly secure, I think. But you got to be protective of your customers, right? even because it only takes one of them to get hit for you to have a bad publicity situation. So. I can't do anything about that. All right, so if that works, we are good to go for storing it in the cookie. Now I've just got to figure out how. Let's go back to my my solution here. So we got storing the token done. Check. Now we're going to go verify the token. So that's probably in middleware. Review and use carefully. More info on FAQ. So yeah, we got your code here. Maybe it'll work. I think it should go in middleware, right? I mean, that's kind of the best place for it, right? And then we got and then protecting the page. It doesn't actually tell you where to put it. I believe verifying the token should go in middleware. Verify random page. If the token is missing or invalid, the user is redirected to the login page. Set up the API route Next.js to verify the token. I feel like that should be done in middleware. Export function, export default function handler, request cookies, if token. Try constant code, verify. Yeah, let's see, res status 100, error code. So all this is doing is looking at the cookie, but I feel like that should be done in middleware, right? Right. Because I think that's actually where it's happening on this example. We go back here, and I think one of these is verify token or something like it. Middleware. Update session. Oh. Update authorized. Well, no, I guess it's not exactly the same. Client. How is this doing this? I don't have mine doesn't do that. Oh, it does do that. Oh, wow. Yeah. I say mine. I mean, this is all mine. When I say mine doesn't do that, that's kind of silly because it's all mine. It's all my code, man. It's my code on this and it's my code on that, and they're both the same VS Code. All right, so, all right, let's try one more question here. Should verify, let's see, verify token be placed in middleware.js. Get the token from cookies, verify the token. Using middleware in your project, ensure you have the necessary environment variables set up, such as Druid secret. Yeah, how do I set, what is Druid secret? I don't know what Druid secret is. I don't know what Druid secret is. Just-in-time web tokens secret. What is that? Try just-in-time web token verify token.process.m just-in-time web token secret. Fetching and storing the token. If you're using a bearer token API, you can still protect your Next.js page component by following a similar approach. The main difference is that you'll need to fetch the token from the API and then store it securely. Yeah. And then placing the verify token logic in the middle can be a good approach for centralizing authentication checks and ensuring that all protected routes are verified consistently. Middleware in Next.js allows you to run code before a request is completed, making it ideal for tasks like authentication. Here's how you can set it up. Create middleware, got it. Add the token verification logic, which is what I'm doing. So let's go here. And I believe I have a middleware. Do I not have a middleware? I do have, maybe I don't. I do not. All right, let's go here and we'll come here. We'll say new file. We're going to say middleware.js. And then we're just going to pop this puppy in there. JSON web token. How are we looking? Everybody happy? Token. I did apply this in token, next response redirect login, which is fine because I believe that's where I am at. I have oh, it's actually not login. What is it called when I redirect? What is it? I thought I had a page called login. It's auth. I should probably say auth. What page did I have that was... Oh, I don't have a reroute to login, that's why. I'm going to auth because I want auth to store other stuff. So that's why I'm not going to login. I don't want to go to login. I want it to go to auth. Because auth could be register, it could be other things. And that's kind of what I'm trying to accomplish here. So we will take them to the login page. So we will call it auth. So we'll go to middleware, and instead of going here, we're going to go to auth. Is that right? Oh. Okay. And then we're going to say redirect on this. Try secret middleware catch. If it's error, we're going back to auth. Nope, not suth, but auth. And then const config equals blah matcher. Protected page. Another protected page. Add all protected routes here. Oh, okay. So we're going to say account. What else do I want? Well, I think you need to have an account to have a, yeah, we gotta have, everybody has to have an account. So we're gonna say, oops, what the heck? Nope, I don't know what I just did, but that's not it. We're gonna go / ladder. Do I want to call it ladder or do I want to say ladders? All right, ladders. We'll say ladders because I want them to go to this page and this is where they're going to go to all the ladders. But they need to be an account first, so we got to make sure they're logged in. Then they go to the ladders and they can pick what ladder they want. And possibly join in, be it account, be it ladders, whatever. So, and some of the ladders, I mean, you might click on it and it'll just display who's on the ladder. And do I want to make them log in? Maybe I just need to, for joining a ladder, they need to be in. So I could say ladders, and then in there I might say, if they're logged in, they can join the ladder, but it's like I think I want people to be able to view ladders, right? You know, hey, this is cool, man. I want them, this has got all these people in it, and they're all competing. I want to be part of the ladder. So I think it'd be cool to show the ladders and not require authentication just to see the ladders. You could see a ladder, pick a ladder. You just can't join a ladder without without being authenticated. So I want them to go to account, but maybe I'm just trying to decide how would they get to joining the ladder. Okay, so like if they're logged in on the ladder, they can maybe, like the join option is there. So there should probably be a link on the ladder that says, oops, what did I just do? Pushed a button and it took me somewhere else. No, it just moved me up. Okay, so why am I adding? Why is there two things of that's weird. Did I accidentally copy something? Because on here it just says export constant config and then equals. Somehow I ended up with double lines here. I don't know how I did that. But this should be account. Export constant config. Did I? Oh. Wait. I think I did something weird. I did. Somehow I pasted it twice. I don't know what I did. All right, so I was messing with my keyboard. That's what I get. This daily push buttons. Okay, we're gonna go match your account, ladders. I don't want to make people log in for the ladders, but I want them to be, maybe it's just like it'll authenticate for it because what it shows on the page might not be a redirect or even force them to go to login or off. Well, it does because I have it up here. Is there a way to authenticate and then if they're logged in, it shows different stuff, right? It shows join ladder, join these ladders. But otherwise, it's just view. Maybe they all say view, but then there's like view and join, and you can join the ladder. Or maybe on the view page of the ladder, that's where you would join it, because you can go click on it, see who's in it, and you can say join ladder. And then the join ladder will take you to logging in and setting up and all that stuff. You know, what do you need to do? What is your current skill level? Some things wouldn't even have skill levels, like if it's, well, could be bowling. But you know what? There's a big difference between a 200 bowler and a 180 bowler. Even a person who's an average of 180 is not going to win the ladder, but he could be competitive. But he's probably not going to win the ladder. So I would say like it might be 180 to 200, and then 200 to, or 201 to 220. And it's basically your my thought is, if you have an average this is totally getting off topic. I mean, it's on topic, but it has nothing to do with the programming. So if I do have bowling as one of the ladders, and people go play bowling, but you're hitting 205, 200 every time you go, but you've set yourself up at a 208 or a 180 to 200 average, you're always allowed to go higher, but you can't go lower. So my thought is, if somebody bowls, if they say they have a 180 to 200 average, and they're averaging 210 in their first five, five competitions, five in their first five matches, I think they get booted. I mean, not booted out of the ladder, but they get booted up to the next level of ladder. Because the idea is that these people, that if you're averaging 5 pins more than the range, you're in the wrong ladder. And it's kind of the same like if you say you're a 3.0 rated tennis player and you're really a 3.5 rated tennis player, and you're destroying everybody and you're sitting at the top of the ladder beating all comers because they're all, between 2.5 and 3.0, and you're 3.0 to 3.5 and you're not having any real competition. I say if you have better than an X winning percentage, then they're going to boot you. Then you get booted to the next ladder. I mean, you don't get booted. You get to take your wins and you get to inject into the next level, but you're going to be like, you might start off in the top 10 of that range. But you're suddenly competing against people who are your level. You can't. I don't want sandbaggers who just go in and just destroy a ladder because they want to win. It's like, no, we don't do that. So we have rules that say, hey, if you're having a great, fantastic season, then you need to be playing with great, fantastically even players. Now it's okay to be number one in a ladder, but if you're destroying everybody, then yeah, I mean, it's going to take a look. I'll have logic in there that takes a look at not only your win record, but your winning scores. What are you dominating these games by? Because you might be sandbagging and winning every third match, or 2 out of every 3 matches, just to keep it close. If you're somebody who's challenging you at the top 5 and you let him win once in a close match, but because the closeness of the match doesn't matter, the ladder's just going to adjust you based on win and loss. But if you win, if you turn around and play him again a week later and you destroy him and you're mostly destroying people, you're still probably going to get bumped up to the next ladder, because So in other words, a person who's ranked 2 or 3 or 4 could get bumped to the next ladder if their winning percentage and scores are not indicative of the current ladder rates. I might actually look at things like have the logic be smart enough to look at everybody's, average wins. It's basically going to have that logic. It's going to be looking at everybody's average winning score, differential between each set, and how much they're winning by, and also how um, they're performing against their wins and losses. And typically, I mean, a lot of people are going to get away with. They're going to have some wins. They're going to blow some people away, and yeah, you could be blowing people away, but like if a bunch of 2-0s jumped into a 3-0 ladder, they're going to lose a lot. But so losing doesn't hurt because you're always at the bottom of the ladder anyway, and you're allowed to be in an upper ladder. And it will never bump you down. You never get kicked to a lower ladder. If you want to play in a higher ladder, hey man, more power to you. But because you want to play against higher, better players, and I'll never have a problem with them playing against higher players. But I will have a problem with people playing below their level. And like it or not, now, eventually, once this gets going, if we get some solid stuff going, I'd like to start offering a paid ladder, which all that does is maybe after you've competed in a ladder, you can join a paid ladder, like maybe the following year. Like I set that up. Now, the paid ladder, it'll have things like prizes, it's not going to be expensive. Like you might pay 20 or 30 bucks a year just to help maintain the board and to maintain the ladders, but then at the end of the season you get a small trophy or a t-shirt, maybe both. Top 3 places gets a ladder, but depending on how you did, you would actually the next year you'd go up to the next ladder. You'd be put into a higher ladder as a winning thing. I don't know. I don't know if I'd force people to change ladders, because sometimes people just have a good year and their winning percentage doesn't say you have to be in this ladder, but you have to play in a ladder once, I think, before you can be in a paid ladder. Right? Maybe? I'm trying to wonder, because you don't want to force people to have to. I mean, if they want to pay right away, that's great, but and I don't think there's any chance of you getting bumped to the next ladder. Up to the next ladder, unless you are just totally dominating the league, the ladder you're in. So you're in first place, you've lost once to the number 2 guy, and you've obliterated him every other time. I mean, that's just it. I mean, you're basically dominating that ladder, and it's not indicative of the competition in that ladder. In which case, even in a paid ladder, I think you get bumped. You get bumped to the next ladder. But you're not out of it. The decision to bump a person could be done at mid-season, and you're suddenly dropped in at the 10th position on that next ladder, which would be out of prizes, but out of the prize pool. But you would you can earn your way up because you got time, because you're only a few levels off. Because the way ladders work is you can play people up to 10 spots ahead of you. You can play people anywhere in the ladder, but you can only move up to 10 spots forward. So if number 10 beats number 1, you can whack, you're back on, you're number one. And you can stay up there as long as you can win. But nobody ever falls more than one space. So if you jump ahead of them, they just down, but they're going to be number 2. So other people may be, hey, what happened? This guy jumped in there and took over. But he brought his record with him from his other ladder, so people don't look at it and go, this guy's only been playing for 2 seconds and he's won. So no, he got in there and he could suddenly win. But competition's going to be tougher theoretically, right? Now, if a person comes into a 3-0 ladder and dominates and gets bumped to 3, and then gets bumped to, and then just dominates there, for one, they were seriously sandbagging. Starts dominating there and never loses a game there. How much time can you bump them again? Can you bump them to the next level? I don't know. I mean, I guess the same algorithm could apply, right? But it would have to apply only to the current crop of people. So you'd have to have them playing. So you got to do it like if a ladder lasts 3 months, it's like once a month you get evaluated for your performance and whether or not that's going to jump you up to the next ladder. And you can't be pushed up to the next ladder unless you're in the top 2 of a ladder. The top 2 guys in a ladder could potentially get pushed up if they're playing a lot of matches and they're destroying everybody. Now, it could be the competition's bad. It's true. Then they need to go play better people. They let the bad competition fight with themselves. So yeah, a bunch of 2.0s getting destroyed by a 3.0 in a 2.0 ladder. I mean, a bunch of people who rate themselves wrong. What can I do? But you want to keep it fair. You don't want one guy just totally dominating. Now, don't get me wrong. The highest I ever got in a ladder, I actually finished top 5 in a ladder that we used to have around here. Doesn't exist anymore. I played like 60 matches that year, and I think I was like, top 5 or 10. Top guys were just out of there, though. I mean, this is where I want to say, yeah, these guys are obviously out in the wrong ladder, and I don't want that to be one of those kind of things here. But there's an evaluation state where it just says, look, dude, you're dominating everybody. You're getting promoted to the next ladder. You'll be set at position 10 in that ladder, and you can work your way up from there or down. You may have more competition there, but obviously you are in the wrong ladder. We are not. We're not going to have one guy dominating somebody's ladder just because they want to win the prize. Because I don't want that. And the prizes are going to be small. They're a T-shirt and a trophy. And I want to give it to a few different places, and maybe I'll get decent, yeah, there'll be some money to be made as the guy who's going to run this whole thing. But I don't see why it's got to be I don't want it to be massive. I mean, I would maybe I don't want to do cash prizes because then you get into legalisms and other things. Maybe I could do better prizes, better things. Maybe, I don't know. Maybe that game, maybe a brand new deluxe version of that game. That'd be cool, huh? Go buy have each ladder has a number 1 position prize, and this one would be if we get, it'll be a T-shirt. It'll be at least a T-shirt and a trophy. But if we get X amount of people, it'll be this thing, which will be like a deluxe version of the game, or a complete bling set for the game, or maybe a new racket, or a new paddle if you're playing pickleball, or something cool, and yeah, something like that. I think it'll be fun. Now, I will have the algorithm smart enough to boot people if they're trying to like sandbag to win a group, because I think a good mounted rounded ladder will have players that are fairly close in competition. Could a five come in and play? Sure, but how many fives are there going to be? You're kind of out of your element. Eventually, you're going to be in the top ladder. I don't know that we're going to do fives. 'Cause I don't know. Fives are like near expert tennis players, right? 5-0. Those are basically professionals. Yeah, maybe a professional top 10 might be like a 6-0. But generally, I think tennis rankings go up to 5 officially, and then you're just open. You're the upper echelon. And hey, if you're in the upper echelon, there's going to be some dominators and some not dominators, but you're better than everybody else. You're better than all those people who aren't in the 5-0 range, or in the 5-0 plus. I'm going to look. Highest tennis rating. 7. Oh, it's 7. Wow. Jeez. 7. 7. That's got to be, wow. 7. This is a guy like. Oh no, that's not. That's level 7. This is 7. Let's see what these say. 200 doubles. All right, let's just say, how good is a 7-0 tennis player? Wow. Players who is committed to tournament competition on the international level and whose major source of income is tournament prize winnings. Players in wheelchairs should use these general characteristics to determine their NTRP skill level. Are all pro players at 7-0? Yes, I think anyone in the top 400 is a 7. Challengers and circuits are 6-5, so college player would be 6. I'm pretty sure I remember my buddy who is college saying all the college tennis players are rated to be at least 5. Now, obviously, there's a bit of a difference between a top Division 1 player and NA1 player, but they're both considered to be at least 5. They can be higher, though. NTRP ratings aren't very good. The best system is UTR. Why does it matter? NTRP is used 99.9% of the time to rate recreational players, people who make money playing tennis. Only play in tournaments where they're invited by ranking, and NTRP was never meant to evaluate them. D1 is generally 6, so Pro is generally 7. Yeah. Okay. So yeah, I'm not going to have 7s. For what? Why would a professional tennis player be wanting to play in my community ladder? It's a community ladder. If you're a 7-0, what good is a t-shirt going to do ya? I could have an open level at 5 and above. I think basically anybody who's 5 and above can play for the same level. And then 4-5, 3-5, 3, 2-5. And it all depends on how many people get into the ladder too. I mean, you've got to promote it and get people to know about it, and just try to get the word out about this cool ladder. And it just gets you a chance to know people and that kind of thing. A lot of these things, and I'm doing this not only for fun, but it could be a cool thing if I can get it working, get it fully running. All right, so back to it. Let's see, where was I? What time is it? 4:25. I don't have much time left. I don't want to be going all day on Friday. Okay, so we have my auth, we have my middleware who's going to run this thing. Creating middleware for token verification. I have that in place. I'll say ladders for now. If I don't want to verify it on the ladders, I could say it'll still, I don't want to redirect to login. I want to, I want to go to account. Account needs to be, you need to log in to even go to an account page. Yo, man, how you doing? Long time no see. What am I learning? Well, I'm learning, well, for now it's React. I was just mentioning that this whole project I'm doing on here is two side-by-side identical apps. Oh, you have? You've been here? Um, it's basically a React Next.js application, and one of them is a Blazor application, and they're the same, and they're both what I'm calling the ultimate community ladder, or ultimate neighborhood ladder. As you can see, I in my head I've changed the name. I just haven't actually changed the name. Yeah, yeah, they're doing all right. They're catching up a little bit to my current streams, to my Active Mind Gamer streams. My Active Mind Gamer streams are still a little bit of it, are still ahead, but yeah, I do a lot more on Active Minds Gamer though. To be honest, I mean, I don't stream all the time with my fitness streams. My fitness streams broke 100 recently. Woohoo! I'm up to I'm up to 100 and something subscribers. And I'm only at like 130 on my other. So it's staying about 30 ahead is basically what's happening. Um, I don't, yeah, I don't want again, I'm still struggling with the how my fitness stream fits into stuff. I'm just doing it because it's fun, I guess. I mean, just to have something to stream. But I mean, you know, the functional purpose of it is, for me, a lot of the streaming is just to do it for fun, and that's why I do it. But the Active Mind Gamer has a lot more, what do you call it, purpose. In that, one, the programming I'm doing can be used for me helping me get a job, proving that I'm actually learning this stuff and getting this stuff down. Two, it allows me to get these websites going, get the website going that I could actually maybe use at some point if it gets functional to make some money, because so far I don't have a job. I need to start making money. And then three, it helps, it actually reaches out when I'm doing the gaming and doing the other stuff. It reaches out and touches the people that actually play the games that my cases are used for, miniatures and stuff like that. I mean, to some point. I mean, obviously, video games doesn't do anything, but it just has a more gamer community contact, which allows me to have a better opportunity to sell my cases. The fitness stream doesn't have any of that. It doesn't have any synergies to go with anything that I'm doing, other than it's just kind of fun, and yeah. Anyway, I got to try to see if I can finish getting this working. I'm debating in my head if I want to lock down my ladders page. I want people to be able to view ladders, so I don't necessarily want to lock it down, but I do want to be able to verify that they are logged in. Problem is, I've noticed that this middleware verification is actually going to redirect to the auth page if at any time, well, if we don't have a token, that's one thing, but then we have to verify the token, and if it doesn't verify, then it's going to send them back to the, oh no, that's only on air. Okay, maybe it doesn't. Okay, so it's not going to send them back to, I guess it doesn't send them back to the auth page. That's only if it's in error. So return next response. Okay, so we can okay, so this will work. I'll do ladders. This will allow me to get back whatever this response is going to be, and then my page can deal with it. So like in the case of account, I'll send them to a login page, which I don't actually have that set up here. And then, But once I'm there, if it's not logged in, I'll send them to the login page, which is basically what I'm doing with the, I don't have a redirect yet, but I will. I'm going to put that in there. And then once they go to the account page, if there's, the only way you would even get to the account page is if you have it shared, like, or saved, like you have it set up as a bookmark. Because you wouldn't normally get to the account page. Because you have to go through the links, and the links aren't gonna be available for your account page unless you're logged in. So my page here. So here's my page. Say hello means I'm logged in, and I want to put their name on here as well. So I am going to put the name of whoever once I get to that point. But this just means I've got it logged in. I have accomplished the call to my server and says, get the token. We got the token. We're happy. To be honest, it was easier to set this piece up in the React app. I have my Blazor app, and I have been struggling to no end to figure out how to get this to work. How to call my... which is funny because my API is written in C#. It's written in C#. It's a C#.NET API, and you would think calling it from Blazor, which is C# .NET web application, should be easy, but it is not. It is not functioning. It doesn't. It's not gronking in my mind because there's so many lines and pieces. I'm like, what the heck is this doing? When I go to call it, it just doesn't function. I can't get the calls to work, and I'm not sure why or what I'm doing wrong. So I said, you know what? Let's try a detour. Let's go to work on the other app, the Ultimate Neighborhood Ladder for my React, and voila! You know, it only took me a day to kind of get it all working. It's working right now, but what I'm doing now is I'm actually trying to, now that I've got the verification token, I've got all the parts, now I just need to plug in the verification. So this is protecting the page here. So this is my protected page. Let's go ahead and, well, is Nookies really right? That just seems weird. Is that really the name, Nookies? Nookies? Can't just keep saying that. That sounds weird. Because isn't Nookie like, you know, hey, give me some Nookie? That's what you say to your girlfriend, right? I mean, I want some Nookie. Please. I feel like that should say cookies. Parse cookies is declared, but it's never. Okay, well, anyway. I do. I feel like it says say cookies. Why should it? Why does it say nookies? Why? What is nookies? Okay, so let's see. We're gonna do get server side props. So I don't think I need to do that part. I could just do this export default function. We're gonna go in here and we're gonna say this. Take this piece only. I'm gonna go Control C. I'm gonna stick it right here. And then, so this is my auth page, and we aren't gonna go to login. We're gonna go to auth. Which is actually lowercase. I don't know how important case is for the path, but I'm not gonna risk it. Risk it being wrong. All right, so constant token equals parse cookies context page. We obviously have something wrong because it's complaining. Oh, it's because my return here is not good. We will, let's see, we got constant. Oh, right, so we gotta go close this. Oops. All right. Constant res equals await. I don't know what that is, but we'll do that. Const res it's a response, which is what it's going to get back when I call this, verify my token. And then we have export default function protected page. So this is actually the page, but this is the stuff that's going on before, which feels weird. Oh, that's the way to get this. Well, I mean, I did this earlier, but I did it differently. Fetch API URL. Can you verify? Oh, verify token. Oh, wow. Okay. Because I do have a verify token functionality here, which is, I feel like the verify function should not be in this, to be honest. I don't like that it's here. I should probably put that in the middleware. Because I have here, so verify token. Confirm, refresh. Wait, one of these. Oh, I thought one of these was verify token. Manage, reset, forget, resend, confirm, refresh, login, and register. So there is no verify token. There's a refresh token, which probably is the same thing. Controls accept header. Expires in 0. What does this do? Token type. That's probably going to be... All right, let's log in and find out what this does. Let's try it out. And then we're going to go over to my... I haven't actually tested all of these functionalities that I set up in my AMG Authorize. I just... all I did was test my... login functionality. So I don't even know how much of this other stuff works. All right, so we're going to say, okay, execute. So now we got this. Now I'm going to take my bearer, my access token. I'm going to copy that. I'm going to go up here. I'm going to say authorize. I'm going to say bearer. I'm going to say authorize. Close. And then we're going to go down here. Let's try it out too. Refresh token. Do I need to put in... What do I pass in here? Do I pass this? Server response 401. Controls accept header. Didn't like it. Undocumented. Response status is 401. Kestrel. Authenticate. Authenticate bearer. Accept application JSON. Content type. was application JSON, was it not? Use cookies. True. Execute. Where'd my token go? Okay, that didn't work. But we're here. True. Execute. What's the server response is response headers. All right, let's log out. We've got to log out. And then we're going to try this again. All right, we're going to go back here, gonna copy, put this guy in here, paste, execute. All right, we're not getting my bearer token. Is it because I'm using cookies? Controls accept header. What if I say false on this? Say execute. All right, that it, oh, see, it did it. It's like using a cookie. Access token and refresh token. So if I want to refresh, do I have to pass the refresh token? Oh, maybe I do. Copy. Let's stick this in here. Here. And then we'll say execute. Okay, that did it. Refreshed it. Does it actually change the token when you refresh it? It does. Huh. Interesting. It has a date, August 24th, 2342. It's 11:40. Obviously my date is weird. I'm going to have to change my, I mean, I don't know, maybe do I need to is that something I can even change? I wonder if it's just defaults to GMT. I'm just laughing at your emoji. Is it Bitmoji? Is that a Bitmoji or an emoji? What's the difference? Bitmoji is just a brand of emoji, ain't it? Or it's not an emoji at all, right? It's an emote. I've been sitting in this chair too long, man. It's 4:43. I'm ready to call it a Friday and start playing games. But I feel like I'm so close. I want to be able to get this done, or at least get it close. So it's not verifying the token, because I don't verify the token. I'm refreshing the token. Right? So what's the difference? Because this doesn't have... This does. I was just talking about your emoji there. Your head hurts emoji. See, my auth doesn't have a verify, but it has a refresh. And I don't want to call my API to do a verify if I don't actually have a verify. let's see. Verify versus refresh token. What are refresh tokens and how to use them securely? Understanding refresh tokens. The refresh token is an opportunity for the server to reject the renewal. For example, the user's password or access changed. The refresh token is offered if, for example, the user's password or access changed. Damn. I had the same confusion about refresh token for a long time, but I never bothered to look for an answer. I always stayed in my mind. Now it makes sense. It's basically a way to invalidate long-lived JSON web token. If we use rotation on every request, I feel that already solves that problem. The token would change on the server side on password change, and when the person with the stolen token tries to make a new request, it would not match the token on server. I've never seen rotation on every request, but it sounds inefficient. At that point, aren't you doing more work than with a user password? It's pretty annoying to deal with if you ever want to have multiple requests in flight simultaneously. I wouldn't know why I'm asking. So rotating a lot would be heavy processing? When should I rotate then? It varies, but typically a token lasts anywhere from a few minutes to a few hours, days, or even longer. The basic idea is the server authenticates a request, encrypts some information from above. Refreshing on every request means doing work that never gets used. Why trust the client when I'm going to just look it up anyway? So you want to trust the token for at least a little while, but how long? It depends. If you're doing something like a financial transaction, you probably want to notice really quickly when they change their password. But that's less important on a site like Reddit, where they are very low consequences. Well, the thing is, I can't set a time for that in the scenario where we are using only one token. Once it expires, can't compare it to the one on the server, can I? The auth server should validate the token with a private key, not by storing the previous token. That supports different devices. We do this. So yeah, I'm thinking the problem is I don't want to, I mean, refreshing the token is probably a good idea. Like you say, when you change or pass or do whatever, you just want to get a new token for that person. I get it. I don't think it's necessary for me. But the question is, this is doing a verify. I don't have a verify process. I have, but I also don't have whatever this secret is. Let's see, create a middleware.js file, add the token verification logic in the middleware, which is what I did, and I have that secret. But how do I set? What is the secret? Basically, what's happening is you're going to have that token get validated with the secret, which is going to basically tie into the token so that somebody can't just change the token. If somebody changes the token, it won't validate with the secret. So they're going to glue themselves together, and if the secret flops. So I got to figure out how to use that. I don't know how to implement a secret, and I don't know what the using JWT secret. What is it? JWT underscore secret to verify a token. Is used to verify a token. Takes two arguments. One is token string value, and second one is secret key for matching the token is valid or not. The validation method. How do I get the secret key? I don't know. It keeps mentioning this secret, and down here it says make sure you set the secret, or somewhere down here it says set the secret. Ensure you have necessary environment variable setups such as the secret. I don't know how to get that. How do I define that, even if I'm just creating it? How to verify just-in-time word token JavaScript? All right, let's see this.
Did my legs shrink? I can move them. I mean,
Hi, I'm Paweł Spychalski, and today let me show you how to work generators. I'm using the one from Scott Brady. With his tool, the token generation consists of two parts. First, we have to generate the issuer key. This is a super simple process,
All right.
JWK and JWT to our code as a mocks later. To verify the JWT, we will use
All right, let's see what he says here. Let's see, any dependencies.
3 external libraries. The
All right, let's make my graphics not crap. Maybe. Can I not increase the display caps capability? Oh, here we go. Let's try to do this in 1080. Aha, I can see it now.
first of them is the JSON web token from out0, which will do the heavy lifting, including token decoding and the verification. The JWK to PEM will allow us to run the conversion of the JWK to PEM format so that we will be able to run the public key verification. And finally, the Axios. Bear in mind, in this example, we will not really use
A strong
the
accent.
Axios HTTP client because we will mock the response of the same in the real basis. And let's set up the mocks. Because, like I said, we are mocking the issuer public key response. This and the incoming token will be just hard-coded over here. The important constant is the trusted issuers, which holds the list of the issuers which are allowed to access our service. This is why we have to have the list of the issuers we trust and the issuers we allow to access our infrastructure. In our case, there is only one entry, and this is exactly the same value that we used when we generated the token. The interesting code begins at the bottom with the function verify. We will begin by decoding the token. Bear in mind, decoding the token only, like the name says, decodes the token and checks if the syntax is correct. Bear in mind, the decode method only decodes the token, but does not check the validity. It will return you the decoded token as the array if the syntax is okay, or just empty value if the syntax was not okay. You cannot rely only on the decode method to check if the token was valid. You have to take extra steps. In our case, the first extra step will be to, well, throw error if the decoded token was empty. That means the syntax was not okay. Next, we will verify if the issuer of the token is on our trusted issuer list. Remember the constant we defined in the beginning of this video? Yeah, this is it. If the issuer is on the list, we pass follow.
So does this return an issuer? Does this? I'm guessing it does, but maybe not. Let's go see. So when I do the login here, it doesn't really return the issuer. It just says token type, token expires, refresh token. That's all it says. Content type, date, and server. I don't know what Kestrel is, but it doesn't actually return the issuer. It just says I got a token here. Accept content type, localhost, token type. So all, I mean, what I get back is, I mean, I'm reading the access token. That's what I read. I'm pulling that in. That's the bearer token. I have the expires in. I could probably grab that and set that to be the value I want. And then I could hold the refresh token if I wanted to as well, if I wanted to do something with that to refresh it. But ultimately, I want to pass more information back. I should probably start adding like the username and other stuff. But what I don't have, well, see, this one actually shows you the response, has the issuer there. Well, this one does too. Login, use cookies equals false. accept application content type application JSON. No, this is the information I'm posting, not the return value. So I'm a little off on that.
If not, then one more time we throw the error as we don't know this issuer, we cannot trust it, we do not consider this token as the valid one. The final step is the verification if the token is valid. This is done by the verify method. The verify by itself will check if the date of the token is okay. That means if the token have not expired. But for the verify method to check if the signature on the token is fine and it matches the public key of the issuer, we have to provide the verify method with the public key of the issuer. So what we have to do first is to get the public key of the issuer using, in our case, the mocked response, and then check if the ID of the key is
no, he doesn't. No, he doesn't. And no, come on. He doesn't look like me at all. I mean, heck, I don't even have the beard anymore, but I mean, he's got hair. His hair is a different color. His head's way more round than mine. No, come on, man. I mean, there's a stretch and all, but no, we're not even close. I've seen reasonable facsimiles of my appearance, but that guy's not one of them.
Contained in the response of the server, because remember, the issuer can have multiple keys.
I mean, after all, I do keep a mustache because I look so much like The Rock. I'm always going down the street, people going, dude, what happened, man? You used to be so big and strong. What happened? Did you shrink? Are you wasting away? It's like, what? I mean, you're The Rock, right? It's like, no. You lost 6 inches of height and 70 pounds of muscle.
Used to sign
No, I don't. I know I don't look like The Rock. I'm just kidding. I'm just bald like him.
Information which public private key pair was used to sign it, and for the verification we have to use the same key pair. This is why we have to parse the response of the issuer and get the public key that was part of the key pair public private used.
Okay, so something's weird here. I cannot verify this API token because I don't have a verification method. My API doesn't have a verification method. It's got a refresh method. I got access, refresh, confirm, resend, forgot, reset, manage. I could do all these things, but I mean, I could just be happy with the expiration in the token, but how do I verify the token? All right, so I'm going to go here. I'm going to say how to verify bearer token in .NET 8 auth API. Authentication made core identity .NET 8. I don't have much time left. I'm ready to call it, man. It's Friday. I don't want to be doing this all night.
In this video, I'll show you how to use ASP.NET Core Identity to implement authentication in your APIs. In .NET 8, we got some exciting improvements for ASP.NET Core Identity, which make it easier to use. So let me show you how we're going to implement it in .NET.
So look, he basically did what I just did. But there's no verify. Register, login, refresh. How does he verify? How do you verify the token that's returned?
.NET 8, we configured all of this with just a few lines of code, and we can use it to implement authentication in our system. So let's start from the register endpoint, and if I just send this request with the default arguments, we're going to get back a 400 byte request, which contains a problem details response describing what went wrong. So let me update the email to something like this. So Milan at milanivanovic.com. And then let's send this again. And this time we're going to get some different errors telling us that the password strength isn't too good. So if you fix all of these by specifying a strong password like this one, then you will be able to register the user. So you can see we get back a 200 OK response. Now if I try to log in the user with these credentials, and let me copy this, I open up the login endpoint, and I'm going
See,
to
a lot of people are doing this where they're using the exact same basic code, and that's how I created mine. But there's not a way to verify the token. How do you?
That's okay because I'm going to specify that I want to use cookies.
I know that identifier. Very good.
Succeed, but if I open up the network tab and execute this request again, so you can see what's going on, if we take a look at the response, you will see that we are getting back a cookie. And we're going to use this cookie to authenticate with the API. So now if I go ahead and call any of these endpoints, which are authenticated, you will see that I'm getting back a response. If you want to support token authentication, you can do that by calling add bearer token, and then you need to specify the authentication schema. So I'm going to access the identity constants and specify the bearer scheme. And now let's call the login endpoint again and see if we get back an access token. Here's the login.
Yes, you're going to get back an access token, but how do you verify it? If you pass it to another app, see, this is the problem. I've been struggling with this because there's nobody who's showing you how to put it in another application. They all show you, hey, this is how this all works in the auth application, which is great, but this is an API. You don't usually call it from within itself. You call it from other applications that need to attach to it. So ChatGPT has helped me to make this connection, but I've actually been setting it up and getting into React and getting it all there. But now within React, I want to be able to verify my token, that it is valid, that it is a legit token. And maybe I don't need to do that. Maybe I'm not supposed to do that. I don't know. But I feel like you're supposed to verify the token, because my thought is you go say, okay, so somebody logs in, you check to see if you have a token. You do, but what if somebody just put some crap token in there? What if somebody was able to hack your cookie and they drop a token in there? You can't like just let them be logged in. You can't just talk to the database and go, oh, he's got a token here. Let's go ahead. Let's go ahead and just allow them to do whatever on the data. No, you can't do that. You got to make sure that the token that you're using is a valid token. So how to verify the token? And none of these people are telling you that stuff. And it's like they're all using what basically comes down to the default API, right? So a lot of this stuff was there by default. I mean, Windows provided this stuff. But like if I go here, watch, this guy's probably looks exactly the same as everybody else's. I mean, they get there, they might add a little something.
Hi, I'm Sean.
I did this,
Welcome back
guys.
to Coding Shorts. Today I want to talk about a new feature in .NET 8. This one I've really been hoping would come sooner rather than later. But in .NET 8, they've made a lot of changes to the way that identity works. And they wanted to be able to support building JWTs from identity without us having to handwrite all this code. That's finally come to fruition. Nothing much to see here. Sean shows me a profile. All of that is fine, right? We have all of identity working. But we have a particular problem here. And that problem is that while we can protect our individual Razor pages and such with authentication, now that we have it supported, it's going to be harder if we are using an API. And I'm going to use a minimal API here just to be simple.
Okay, so this guy's, he gave me hope, right? So I'm doing this, and he says he's creating an API, and his code is using it, but it's using it from within itself. So he creates this little API foo, and he has his other pages reference it, but he's not showing you how to connect that API from another location and pull the data in from that other API so that you can use it. And it's like, well, that's great. You're showing me how an API built into my app can be used. I don't want to use an API that's built into my app. I want to use an API that's stored on another server or another location or another app. I want to be able to go contact that API and pull the data, log into my pages, verify everything. If I have to call back, whatever, I talk to the auth API. It's not part of my app. And everybody is doing stuff that's building it into their app. And it is not a simple fact of just, hey, well, just pretend like it's somewhere else. You can't do that. There's like, I was going through a bunch of steps so far. It looks like there's about 10 lines of code in connecting them. And so far, the lines of code I've been using in Razor don't work. It is not calling it, not connecting it correctly. And you have to connect it in so many different places and so many pieces. It's just not coming together. The React one came together. It's all working. Yay. But I got to still figure out the Blazor one. And I'm still trying to figure out how he's going to verify. And he's not using, see, here's his API foo, which is cool. I learned this little trick, test.http. Awesome. This is awesome. But I don't have a verify. I want to verify. So sorry, dude. That doesn't work for me. Let's see what this one does. Is this the one I just did?
Hello friends, so today I am
Nope, different language,
how to use
different accent.
Microsoft Identity in .NET 8 to generate bearer tokens. So these tokens can be used for authentication and authorization. So I'll be creating I'll use Postman rather.
So look, this guy, exact same thing. Register, login, refresh. He does the same thing. He creates the bearer. He just calls it something different. So I created mine.
Because it's very popular and a lot of people use it, and it is also, you can save your responses, and requests and everything, and then you can retry those. It will be very easy for you. So I'll be showing, I'll be using Postman to show you how.
I mean, it could be that I'm doing something. I'm misunderstanding how bearer tokens work, and
now our Postman.
maybe I need to change my question, huh? Let's go back to ChatGPT. ChatGPT. I can use it again. It says I used up all my things earlier, so I had to change it. How? Let's just say that. Do I need to verify my bearer token? Pulled from .NET API in Next.js. You should verify it. Okay, security, trust boundaries, authorization. How to verify the token in Next.js. Should be the secret key or public key used to sign the token. Okay, that's the problem. Where do I get the JWT underscore secret? Weird. Why is it doing a side-by-side? If you're generating tokens in your .NET API, if your .NET API generated the token using a symmetric, the same key should be used in your Next.js application to verify the token. If your .NET API is using asymmetric encryption, you'll need the public key for verification. Example, in .NET with symmetric key, Next.js configure store this securely in your environment variables. Export your secret key. In Next.js, retrieve it via, if you're using an external identity. So is it something that my authorize is doing? Do I have? use user secrets ID. User secrets ID. No, that's not even the right thing. Let's go to secrets. That's a connection string. That's not going to help me any. Let's go. Oh, that's the weather. All right, so see, I don't see where. How do I know this? Where you obtain the secret depends on how your token is being generated or managed. Signing key. In many cases, the secret key used to sign the will be stored securely on the server and should. Why can't I read this? Should be the same key used for verification Next.js. If your .NET API is issuing the tokens, the key might be defined in API's configuration settings, app settings.json. Yeah, see, I don't have a secret defined here. It's neither in my app settings or in my let's see here. Nope. Yeah, none of this stuff exists. I don't know. If you're using an external identity provider, e.g. auth-o. I think I'm using auth-o. Usually sign tokens with a private key and publish the corresponding public key, which you can use to verify the token. Steps to retrieve the public key. Most identity providers expose a JWKS endpoint where you can fetch the public keys. Environment. Store the provider's public key or the JWKS endpoint URL as an environment variable. Because up here in my program.cs, I have OAuth. Well, it's just called OAuth 2. It's probably not actually OAuth, which makes it all the more difficult. That's auth-o, by the way, not OAuth. Okay, so I guess that's not the same. I don't remember what configuring Swagger. Add authorization, add identity endpoints, framework stores, configuring from .NET API. If the key is set in the .NET configuration app settings JSON, you can extract it from there. I don't have a secret key. I don't know. It doesn't exist. Ah. Ah. Okay, I need to take a break. Guess that's my Friday. Time for me to think future. I got to figure out how to verify this, but I don't want to do it anymore now. It's Friday. Time for me to call it. Time to start having a weekend. My weekend is now officially begun. I've decided to close up shop till next time, which will probably be in the next hour, 30 minutes or 20 minutes. I'm going to go eat something, and I'll come back. I'm going to play some games. Till then.